Right, so in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update on how this lawn is getting on since it's been almost a month now since we did the overseeding on this space. And we're going to be talking about what we're going to be doing to it today to further improve it, to getting it back to its actual former glory. Now you can see for the most part, it has thickened up quite a lot. You can see the actual sward itself is a little bit more tightly packed than it was. If you get right over the top now, lots of those bare patches have started to sort of fill in, but you can still see there is quite a few, and still this is a bit of a problem side, and also down the edge along the front as well. In terms of the overseeding, it's actually gone okay. We've had quite a bit of germination throughout the sward, and once this actually gets to feed this lawn, a lot of those new seedlings will really start to, bed themselves in. The blades will start to thicken up, and it'll close a lot of those spaces, but it's still not completely perfect. For the past 2 years, I've seeded sort of, back end of March, early April. I've always had really good results, but the weather we've had over the past 3 weeks, it's been just unbelievable. The amount of wind we've had, the amount of rain we've had. I mean, when I seeded this, we had decent weather, and it was predicting, for us to have decent weather moving forward as well. And I was never to know how much rainfall we were really going to have. I think what's happened is down the edge here, a lot of the seed is just being washed away, or where the water's been sitting, it's just rotted. This side, some has germinated. There's a few that have actually come through, but you can see now, I don't know how well you can see on camera almost, but the sun's getting this part of the grass now. It's still struggling to get this part. As it does move further over in the sky, it's starting to get this side of the garden. So that's hindered the progress of the overseeding as well. But for the most part, we've got a lawn back, and it's looking half decent. So there's a couple of things I'm going to be doing in today's video. The first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be overseeding some of the bare spaces. I'm not going to overseed the entire lawn because it doesn't need it, but I'm going to, any of these spaces on patches where, we can just see the bare soil from above, I'm going to be seeding them. I'm going to be seeding down this edge as well, and also across this side. I'm not going to be top dressing it with anything mad. All I'm going to do is literally break up the soil with a rake and rake it over the top, compact it down, and then job will be a good one. And the second thing I'll do is I'm actually going to feed this lawn too. Now, it's not always advisable to feed when you're overseeding, because you're going to promote the growth of the rest of the grass, and then what that's going to do is going to leave the rest of those little seedlings in a bit of shadow. But I think this side, there's not much of an issue because it's thin anyway. This border here, again, not much of an issue. There's hardly anything knocking about. It'll only really be a problem for the bits in the middle, but I think it's going to be fine. Temperatures this week are okay, but moving forward, it's only going to be getting warmer. So I can't see it being too much of an issue. You might have noticed that down at the bottom, we've got all this fencing in place, and the actual lawn has been seeded. Now, this is a video I'm going to be uploading tomorrow. It's been seeded with a bent fescue mix, completely different to what this lawn is up at the top. So it's going to be quite a good comparison this year to see the difference between this space at the bottom and this space up at the top, because I'm going to keep this space up here predominantly ryegrass. I mean, you can't guarantee 100% ryegrass in a bag, but the ryegrass that I'm using today is the same stuff. It's the A1 Lawn Premiership Pro stuff that I've been using now for a couple of years. And what I kind of want to do is I want to see the difference in the same space between the two different types of grasses. So you're going to have fescue and bents, which grow a little bit more laterally across the lawn. You can prune them. The more you cut them, the thicker they become. And this lawn up at the top is going to be ryegrass, because I've used this, like I said, for a couple of years. It's what I'm familiar with, and it's what I'm used to. Now, again, another change that I'm going to be making is down at the bottom, I've got a very organic fertilizer that I'm going to be using on this space. However, this one up at the top, and we're sticking with the normal, regular spring summer fertilizer from A1 Lawn that I usually use, because I want to keep this lawn as consistent as I sort of can, in line with what I've done traditionally in terms of seeding with ryegrass, getting on with the A1 spring summer fertilizer. And when I use all the organic stuff down at the bottom, it will be nice to see the differences between the two. So I'll go get the lawnmower out the garage, we'll give this a cut, and then we'll get on with the seeding. if you are overseeding the entire space, the best thing to do would be to scalp it right down, get nice and low, because then the grass that's already there is going to take a little bit of time to recover, which gives the new seeds then a little bit more time to actually germinate and do the thing. But like I said at the start, I'm only overseeding small little patches, and those patches are already exposed to the sun anyway. Let's get on with a little bit of the seed. Before we do, we'll get the rake, we'll just break up some of that soil, create a little bit of a seed bed for them. So what I'm almost trying to do is just loosen the soil really. It's creating sort of like a little space for that seed to fall into. I'm not trying to damage the grass that's already there. I mean, might rip up the odd new seedling that's there, but they've actually rooted quite well, the ones that are already in place, so I'm not going to stress too much. A bit of weed grass there. You know what, I'm not stressing about it this year. It is what it is. I'll deal with them as and when. I'm after just a nice garden this year rather than just a pristine lawn. I mean, the weed grass just pulls out, to be honest with you, because because the roots are so shallow. It comes out quite easy anyway once you're raking. Now usually I would use a drop spreader for this, but because it's just these certain spaces which I'm going to be overseeding, I'm just going to go around, I'll just seed it by hand, just roughly eyeball how much I want down. Oh, look at this, look at him there, like having a go, having a snack. It's the issue now, the pigeons. Because, you know, I could get on with a drop spreader, I could put seed all over the place, but actually the entire space doesn't need overseeding. It's just certain patches which kind of do. Now I'm going to go on with a little bit more than I necessarily need, because it's not all going to germinate. I mean, the seeding at the end of March was testing to that, how some of them will still be under the soil and some will, you know, still inevitably germinate in the next few weeks, that are sitting dormant, ready to sort of pop out the ground. That's obviously the case, but if I go on with slightly more than what I require, then it means that I shouldn't necessarily have to come and do this again, especially not during the spring or the summer. And because this is ryegrass, each seed creates one plant. So even though I'm going on with quite a heavy application of it, that's what's required to thicken this up. Fescue and bent, you can cut it and scarify it, and it's going to start to thicken up naturally, because that's what those grasses do. And just a few other things too, you know, if you've been on this channel for a while, you'll know I'm not an expert at any of this lawn care stuff. The main reason sort of behind this channel is that when I wanted to improve my lawn the other year, there wasn't really many channels which had people who weren't lawn care experts. I almost wanted to learn on the go, share any knowledge that I do get, and I feel like that's what I'm doing with this channel at the moment. I mean, some people still comment and say I'm pretending I'm not an expert when I actually know more than what I do. I'll be really honest with you, whatever you think I know significantly less, because it's a complicated subject. I mean, it's only grass, it should be simple, but there's other channels out there that are going to show you how to get the most pristine lawn known to humanity. One day it might be this channel, one day this channel might upload a video and it might be the way to get the greatest lawn on God's green earth, and everyone will follow it and everyone get the best lawn. But that's not today. It's not realistic of what this channel is going to be. But actually, I'm not afraid to share the mistakes. I don't think it was a mistake seeding at the back end of March. I think it was okay. I was happy I did it because the weather was nice. The forecast gave it to be nice, and I've done it in the past. And I thought, well, it's worked for me before, why can't it work for me again? And hang on, the pigeons on the bottom lawn again. Hey, get off. But I forgot what I was saying. Probably wasn't that important really, but yeah, it's yeah, I don't mind showing the mistakes that happen. People are going to say, well, every year it's different in April. Every year the weather's different in March. I know, I get that. But more often than not, it is similar, but like, you know, it's been a tricky old season so far. Last year was absolutely wonderful in, you know, March and April. Got loads done with the lawn, but not this year. But nature of the beast, isn't it? We live and learn. And next year, if you're sticking around on this channel, the advice will be better, and it'll always be better year on year. It'll never be perfect. Always be better than what it is now. Now, some of you might be saying, or thinking, you know, what am I going on about when I'm talking about ryegrass and fescue and bent? And all it is, just different types of grass species. You might know it already, you might not. And the reason I know all about these sorts of different types of grasses now is because since the lawns went to tatters in sort of the winter this year, a lot of people commented to tell me to research them, and I did. And I stumbled across a channel called Lawn Association, which some of you might have seen because I know some people have commented about it on my videos in the past. And they commented on a few of my videos, the guy from Lawn Association, with some criticism, you'd say, very fairly given, quite blunt, but almost, I think sometimes criticism has to be to an extent. And at first I just thought they were trying to advertise what they do, and from going onto their YouTube channel and watching their videos, I learned a hell of a lot about the different types of grass seed. And since then I've reached out, I've been speaking to the guy from Lawn Association, really cool fella, knows his stuff, loads of experience, far more than what I do. Like I always say on this channel, my background isn't in horticulture, lawn care, gardening, anything like that. My day job couldn't be more different to this. It certainly doesn't involve a lot of outdoor stuff. But yeah, I've contacted him and we've been back and forth, and he's given me some advice at the moment and some help about how to best take care of the lawn and to maintain it, especially the one down at the bottom, the one that we're redoing now. And they've kindly sent me some seed. I'll be talking about it in tomorrow's video. They've not paid me, and I'm not here to promote all things Lawn Association, but all I can say is if you're just into doing a bit of gardening and you just want to whack a bit of seed down, it might not be for you, but if you want to learn about different grass seeds, about why they grow better in certain places, or certain grass seeds grow better in certain climates, like the UK climate, it's definitely worth checking out. They have a lawn care course at the moment. If you're into lawn care, it is worth checking out. They've not asked me to share it, they've not asked me to talk about it. Best way I can describe it, it's like a book almost that you can just go back to. And do you know what, I'm telling you now, it's spot on. My partner's sick of me talking about it in the house. I keep saying to her, have you heard this about bent grass? The fact that you can verticut it and it'll thicken up, and when you cut it, it produces more plants. And do you know what stolons are? And she couldn't care less, to be honest. But you know what, I'm well into it. So if that's for you, we're checking out. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by them. They're not paying me to say it. You don't have to go and check them out. But yeah, if you want to, you know, you can. I just think they've helped me, and I don't mind passing on the good words about stuff that they're doing. At the end of this day, yeah, there's ads on these videos and stuff, and get a few quid here and there, but this channel isn't to make money. This is just a hobby for me. Someone commented a while back about, oh, maybe you could replace it and this could be your day job, and I sort of laughed when I read the message, because I thought it would be cool, but I really like my day job. So it's this for me. It's just a hobby, so I'm not here to try and make millions selling anything. So yeah, and that's one thing as well. I'll make sure on this channel I'll only ever share. Look at him, he's snacking. He's not even waiting for me to get off. He's already having a little munch. I might need to set up some of those little scarecrow looking things. I'm only going to share things on the channel which I really genuinely think are worth people's time. Like I said, check out their YouTube channel, Lawn Association. Definitely worth a watch. I wasn't going to top dress this lawn, I was just going to rake it over with the soil that's already there, but I bought 40 bags of this back in the Jan, early sort of Feb, and it was used for the bottom tier to level it. So it's top dressed and 70% sand, 30% topsoil. So I bought 40 bags thinking it would, you know, be required at the bottom. I think I used about 10, so I've got best part of 30 bags sat in the garage, so I'll use a bit of this. I'm just going to dump it in one place. I'm just going to fling it round with the shovel and just spread it on top of this, because as I'm working here in and out the garage, and the birds are already snacking on the lawn, which is doing me nuts in. It's quite sandy, this. You know, like I said, it's probably ideal to cut this a little bit shorter, but with it being quite patchy still, I don't really want to put the grass under too much stress. It's had a stressful winter. Let's be kind to it now that it's nearly May. like a proper YouTuber now, aren't I? Proper lawn care YouTuber who scoops up the top dressing. And they don't throw it like that, they do it in like a certain way, but I don't know what way they do it. Let me change the camera angle. Looks more normal. It's gonna be the thumbnail, this. Oh, there you go. Who knows what you can see there, because the red robin's in front of the screen, so I can't tell. Goes a bit into the flower bed, no one's gonna die, are they? But what I'll do, I'll rake the rest of this round. Right, I might get another bag. I mean, I've only got 29 more to use, so why not, eh? I know I'd be able to scoop it better if the lawn was shorter, but we've committed to it now, haven't we? Well, lovely stuff, lovely stuff. It says to apply this at roughly 35 grams per square metre, so that's roughly enough for this entire space. And I don't want to put too much down, because put a lot down, it's going to absolutely boom. I just want the grass that's currently there to thicken up to see how tightly packed the sward becomes, but I don't want to put too much down because obviously we've got these seeds that want to germinate as well. But like I said, it's very patchy already, and I think even if the grass was to be really long, the sun will be able to penetrate down to the soil because the patches are still somewhat there. Now, it's always best to go on a low setting if you're using something like a drop spreader, because the lower the setting you go, it means the more passes you can do and you get a much more even distribution across your lawn. So I'm going to set this to 4, see how much comes out. So there we go, the overseeding is done. It's been fertilised as well. I mean, like I said, those two things you wouldn't usually do at the same time, but I want to give the grass that's there a bit of a boost at the moment and then let those other patches fill in. Like I said, April has been mad for weather. Fingers crossed the back end of April is okay, and going into May, I'd like a little bit of rain, not a lot, a little bit, but quite a lot of sun as well to get these grass seeds swelling, germinating, and yeah, fingers crossed, all goes well. What is that by my head? A little spider on my head. So, thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a like, and if you'd like to check out any of my other videos, such as any of my garden renovation videos or lawn tip videos, then head over to my channel. I've also got a video series at the moment where I'm actually renovating the lawn down at the bottom completely. It's becoming a completely different type of lawn. It's bent fescue compared to this ryegrass. Then head over to my channel, and if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. And finally, thanks for watching.